Hey guys! Welcome back to the channel. In some of my recent videos, I talked about ways to practice oral English. One thing I mentioned is telling stories or describing things around you. And today I'm going to show you exactly how you can do that in your daily life, whether you're practicing alone or with a language partner. If you're practicing by yourself or lucky enough to have a language partner, here's one thing to keep in mind. Always have a specific topic for your conversation. Don't just do casual, random chats. Casual conversations, while helpful in small ways, won't take you very far. You'll end up talking about the same surface level things over and over again, like your hobbies, the weather, or what you do in your free time. Instead of doing that, you need to prepare some topics ahead of time. If you are not sure where to start, just look at common questions from IELTS or TOEFL speaking tests. Using these questions to simulate a speech or have a structured conversation with your language partner or by yourself. Today, I will show you how I practice this myself with my English tutor during our sessions. This is my English teacher, Dom. He has now lived in Taipei and he is studying Chinese. Cool, right? Being a language learner and English teacher at the same time, he taught me some specific steps for practicing oral language.
Changing your habits. So instead of watching Chinese TV shows, start watching English TV shows. Instead of having your phone maybe set in Chinese, I know a lot of people like to change the settings on their phone into English, which does help. Like the settings on my phone are in Chinese, and so I feel like way more. You know, you see like the standard just like options and menus and stuff, and it's all in English, and you'll start to learn these like basic words that you'll see when using. Just turning a little bit crazy and narrating your day in English. So like when you're doing something, you just start speaking aloud about what you're doing. So you're cooking. Oh, I'm just, where are the onions? I need to chop my onions, and just describing everything you're doing as you're doing it. And so if you have like housemates or you live with your family, they might think you're a little bit crazy, but actually you're training your brain to be producing these sounds in English.
And what he mentioned about doing speech and narrate your life is exactly what I said before in my videos. And I would like to try telling a story in this session. Basically speaking, giving a short speech or practicing specific topics helps you use the vocabulary and grammar you've learned so far. They have been married for several years, but they're in the middle of divorcing. So this friend of mine, she's very beautiful and she's an actress.
Oh,
yeah,
really?
She's very good at acting and dancing. I think she's really talented.
Is she famous?
Yes, a little bit. Yeah.
Okay.
But actually, she's totally unhappy with her marriage for many years because she feels like that the relation between her and her husband is not like a romantic one, not like a marriage, but just like a business relationship. And there's a time that she was competing in a reality TV show, and the show is like kind of fun and relaxed program, but you still need to compete with other actresses. During the filming, her husband just went ahead and signed her up for another film project without asking her. So these two projects just completely conflicted. On top of all of that, she's frustrated because her husband seems to care more about making money through her and his company. So lately, you know, live streaming is really popular in China. People do live streaming and sell products. And he just forced her to participate, even though she didn't want to, because he thinks that that can make money. So yeah, the most important part, or the part that really makes her angry, is like what you said, that their relationship is just like the dad and the kid. So her husband just constantly belittles her, like, you are poorly educated, you are so childish, and you need me to save you. So I think all of this, the control, the disrespect and lack of support, and all of this led her to finally decide to end the marriage. This one of my friend thing I mentioned is an actual actress in China. That's the real story between her and her husband. And recently this TV reality show is really famous and popular, and it just provokes a lot of thinking and a lot of topics on Xiaohongshu or social media. So I meant to say that after watching some TV shows or after knowing something about things on the social media, you can make it a story and use that to practice your speaking. Sometimes students think that they don't have anything to talk about. They think their life is boring, they don't have any stories, but you can get stories from the internet or other people's life as well, right?
Yeah, that's a really good idea. I like that idea.
And also, if you are speaking with a language partner or a native speaker, they can correct your phrasing and sentences and how you put words together, which you can then apply to other conversations.
If the student makes a mistake, I'll write it down. And then if there's like a pronunciation, I'll write it down, write a note. And then when the student finishes speaking, or like every 5 minutes or something, or 10 minutes, we'll go back and we'll look at like some of the mistakes and corrections and provide suggestions and that kind of thing.
This creates a positive feedback loop. You express your ideas, get corrections, and use the right phrases next time. The key is to take the first step. Don't worry about being perfect. Just try to express yourself using the words and sentence structures you are familiar with. If it's incorrect, that's okay. You can improve by reviewing your speech, either by transcribing what you said and put it into Grammarly, a grammar correction website I found really effective and useful, or by asking a native speaker to correct it for you. Once you've got the correct version, you can use it confidently in your next conversation or speech. I personally love using italki to practice with native speakers. I've been using it since 2020, so for about 4 years now. And I've recommended this platform for many times because it's such a huge part of my language learning journey. What I love about italki is how flexible it is. Unlike traditional learning platforms where you need to buy a lot of lessons, here you can pay as you go since I was, at that time, on a tight budget. Then I also thought, why not become a teacher myself? So I applied for being a Chinese teacher on the platform. This turned out to be a win-win for me. Teaching Chinese helped me practice my English at the same time because I had to use English to explain grammar, pronunciation, and meaning to my students, and use English to tell them Chinese cultural stories. It really improved my ability to communicate clearly in English. I wasn't overly worried about my accent or grammatical mistakes, small ones. I just focused on getting myself across. Over time, I've met so many wonderful students and people from different backgrounds. This experience has been so rewarding, and I've learned a lot from teaching as well as practicing. For those who don't know, italki is an international online language learning platform where you can learn over 150 languages. You can choose from professional teachers or community tutors, depending on your goals. For example, if you are preparing for exams like IELTS, TOEFL, or other exams, you can book lessons with professional teachers. On the other hand, if you only want to practice your conversation skills, I believe that community tutors are a great option. Many of them have fascinating background. Some are English teachers, but some of them are lawyers, doctors, or professionals in other fields who teach part-time on italki. You can customize your learning plan with your tutor. All lessons are online, so you can learn anytime, anywhere, and focus on what matters most to you. To me, the ultimate purpose of learning a language is to communicate and express your ideas clearly to others. When you are able to do that, it's incredibly satisfying. It turns out that all your hard work is paying off. And also, the sense of accomplishment gives you the motivation to keep going. That's the real meaning of learning a language.
I think really you're never going to build any relationships or have any kind of experiences using this kind of software because it's not very personal. You can't really immerse yourself in any kind of culture or have any like real experiences with people who speak that language if you're just translating via. There's a lot more that you need to know than just the words to use. Like there's a lot about like reading expressions, listening to like inflection and tone in a voice, because depending on the country, people's tone of voice can change a lot. Like, for example, if you speak to an English person and an Australian person, our tones are a little bit different when we speak. And so getting this exposure to native speakers, like real native speakers, and it differs from person to person as well. So you really want to be exposing yourself to people who actually speak, because then this is how you're going to really learn how to speak to people.
So if you're ready to start your language learning journey on italki, now this platform has a special discount for new users. Use this code to get started, and you can begin chatting with native speakers from all over the world. I promise you're going to have a great time. So if you find this video helpful, give it a like and subscribe to my channel. See you next time.